Hi, everyone. Raj Gavurla. Welcome to Experiencing Intelligent Breakthroughs in Your Performance and Life. This week, I'm talking about team. What does team mean? I've heard a lot of acronyms. One acronym is team means there's a me in team. I've heard that before. I've heard other ones, but the best one I've ever heard is together everyone achieves more. Isn't that really supposed to be what a team is about, what it really means? It's not supposed to have a bunch of divisiveness in it, a bunch of people who don't know the mission, the vision. And so this is something that's very, very valuable for you because most people, when you're in school, in lots of areas, when you're in the workplace, and even if you're playing like on a sports team, they don't know really what it means to be on a team because nobody really explains it. It's supposed to be one of those intangible things that you sort of pick up. Well, some of it is. However, the word team and just realizing it means together everyone achieves more. So what does together mean? Well, together means three things. One, it means everyone on the team. So whether the team is 5 people, 15 people, how many ever people. Now, of course, the larger the team, the more challenging and difficult to have everyone together. I remember I was at one event and Microsoft was having their global event in Atlanta, and I was working that event, and they had people coming from all over the world to this event. And these people had never met each other, but they were all on the same team and they were coming to this big, huge event. They were going to have Usher do the entertainment, but they decided to go and do it a different way. But it was an amazing event. It was like a 2-3 day event. I was hired to do something that was a little bit actually unique. I was hired as a Bollywood model actor. And so what I did is I drove around Atlanta in like a Dodge Viper with the windows down and the music blaring, playing Bollywood songs. And I was supposed to be like an attraction and I'd interact with the people. And it was really a lot of fun. A friend of mine runs an entertainment business, and that's how I was thought of initially. And so that was my foray there. And so together, that's essential because a lot of times you get on a team and people are just feeling each other out. They don't really know what each other are doing, who they are maybe. And so there has to be something available to help them to come together, to create that cohesion on what is the mission and vision. And then initially, what also are each one of those people who's on this team, what are the dreams of theirs that we need to enable? Sure, there's the dream of completing the project, building a business, growing a business, developing a business, winning the championship. All of that is there. You know, putting on a great event, all of that is there. But do you take the time? And most people don't. And that's why they don't get as much out of being on a team. Do you take the time, though, to really talk about the mission, the vision, and then enable each other's goals? And that's essential. Essential. And then it's also essential that we know how decisions are made. And very essential for them to actively participate, engage, and serve, for them to know that their input and their decision making, and there's an avenue for them to interject their ideas, their dreams. Because a team should evolve just like a business evolves, just like a sports team evolves, just like an event evolves. Most events, they'll have it one year, but then they'll want to evolve it and make it a little better for the other years. And so I see this a lot, and people try to take shortcuts because they don't want to prepare ahead of time and get the maximum out of being on a team or putting a team together. And it really doesn't do them good. It doesn't benefit them. Sure, they still might accomplish what they set out to accomplish, but it doesn't have that same feeling. It doesn't reward them the same way. The amount of earnings that they receive is not the same. The relationship building that was possible just doesn't happen like it was. I mean, most of those people, they leave and, they go home and they do whatever, or they go to a different team, or this project's over, this whatever we were coming together is over, and, we'll never see each other again. And that's really, really sad, because this is a great, great opportunity to build relationships, sustainable relationships. So we talked about togetherness, and we talked about everyone. Okay. And now I know that we're talking about performance in life here, or you can put life and performance here. And that's what you're going to find out. You're going to find out that life happens. It really does. And you're going to find out that performance happens. It really does. And it's how you respond to those two things that are really going to bring that team closer together to accomplish more or not. And most people do not have a firm grasp on that. Most leaders do not have a firm grasp on that. So that is a challenge in itself. And I work with organizations, all types of teams, individuals, on exactly helping them with this area on how to be a team that together everyone achieves more. Now, the achieve part, a lot of people have an idea of what the achieve part is. The thing is that they're so focused on one big goal that they don't put in an earnings system or a mindset of making our team better one goal at a time. And when I say better, that means who we're serving, that means collectively, and that means each one of us individually. So we're rewarded in 3 ways, not just one way, 3 ways, at least 3. And most people miss that too. They make that mistake. And actually, there's a 4th way. The 4th way is what are my options from doing this as we start to proceed? And of course, we can't lay all those out right now just because we don't know how well we will do. But obviously, the more well we do, the more options or the more earnings that we should get. So as we're achieving towards these goals, one goal at a time, there has to be some earnings being done. Whether that's a reward monetarily, recognition, team lunches, team event, just a token gift, depending upon if this is a volunteer organization, just something extra, just a little extra that keeps that gas in the tank igniting. Okay. And then obviously when you get to the big goal, then you get a larger reward. See, I see a lot of organizations and, they'll pay a salary and they'll pay. But then they get to the goal and it's like, okay, you got the goal. I mean, you don't get anything for getting to the goal. I mean, you got paid as you went along. You should be happy with that. And that just takes the incentive out of it. It just takes away the idea of, okay, if I'm making my team better, the people we're serving better, each other better, okay, and I'm progressing and we're actually accomplishing. Well, when I get to this big end, I want some kind of earnings. to come to me. All right? I mean, this is just natural human performance thinking, human performance, the way that human beings work. Okay? And like I said, it doesn't always have to be monetary. It really depends on your situation. So that's essential to know what it is that we want to achieve and when, right? And you measure it and you keep it simple in the measuring it and you evaluate it. So that's the together and the everyone and then the achieve. And then here's the more part. The more part, I sort of touched on it earlier. And that is, as we're doing this, what has occurred that actually you found as an unexpected success? Yeah, you didn't know this was going to happen. Maybe through your team you met somebody else or you got involved in something. I mean, there's just so many different things, and it's very, very essential to start to have that kind of discussion too. And so initially we start with, what I like to call a team charter session or a project session, charter session or event charter session. It just really depends on what are the objectives currently. And of course, this, depending upon the longevity of a team and are there going to be additional goals added later on, can actually evolve and grow. But this should happen with every new, let's say, mission or vision or event or next game, whatever it may be. And this is where I think you will really find that there's a bonus effect, or what I call the zone effect, if you're really able to do it. And you need to bring someone from the outside to really be able to do it for you and to set it up. And that is, what are you going to be learning from each other as far as performance goes? Maybe somebody on the team had a life issue and you know nothing about it. Nobody else does either. However, if the team was aware of it, could you imagine just the camaraderie of coming together? And, now those individuals who do nothing about it, now they have some kind of knowledge in their mind that they can store, that in case in the future, if it happens for them or for someone they know, they're not starting from zero. Now, granted, everybody's situation is different, but if you have just some knowledge of some space, it makes it just a little easier, right? If you were to participate in something and you went through it and you did well, but then you did it again, okay, you're going to do a little better. You're going to get more out of it, right? And so this is what I help with, and I have a lot of mental tools, a lot of performance tools, human performance tools that I use. One's called leadership mood chairs. There's a lot of activities and games that are associated with it, just how to really engage and serve and participate with one another. And this goes way past personality profiling and trying to pair two people with personalities that sort of match or come together. This has nothing to do with any of that. You don't need to be a psychologist, none of that. These are all just performance tools that you just be very surprised on if you knew this one little tip or this one little algorithm or whatever, and the way that this person does it is different than the way you've been doing it, and they do it better and faster. Well, you think if you learned that would make you more valuable on this team as well as when you go and do other things? Of course it would. Of course it would. And that's where a lot of teams have a challenge, because what ends up happening is that people on the team end up sort of competing against one another, although they're on the same team, for these team leaders' awareness or recognition or whatever you want to call that. And actually, if you do it right, the people on the team should be doing more of the leadership role with guidance from a team leader, and the team leader should be projecting out further based on one technique is appreciative inquiry that we do with our team, or with input and feedback, just to start to go out here and look into some of the things they're saying before they come back to a team with something more well-defined, so that we can make a really educated decision or choices. And that's how you get more out of a team. And again, I do this for individuals who are already on a team, all types of teams, whether they're a business team, a community team, event team, a sports team. And this just really makes a lot of sense. And this is not something that people really learn from what I see. And I went through school, never learned this. I went through work. I worked for some of the best companies in the world, never learned this. Sure, I was on teams, but it was always just sort of, you knew who was sort of the leader, and you just sort of played a role. It wasn't really a cohesive team. And so I want to leave you with these thoughts, and that is that on this team where together everyone achieves more, what you end up doing is you'll actually be rewarded and celebrate each other's successes as well as the team's successes. So you'll know when someone is actually performing well or even challenged, and you can go help and things of that nature. Also, again, going back to it, you want to be able to enable dreams, right? That's the real world. People always ask, like, what's your why? I can tell you what people's why is. Their why is their dreams. They want to live their dreams. That's their why. Now, that's going to be unique to everyone in little different ways. And then you want the mission and vision to be clear. And of course, that's really the why of the team, right? And then, of course, so that we don't have problems all the time with conflicts and divisiveness and things of that nature, you want to have a mutual respect and supportive team culture. That's essential. And so this is where we come into play when I, look at like cultural continuum, where I look at ethnicity, background, skill sets, and just really see like, wow, you all really can really greatly benefit from each other. Not all of you all aren't the same, and all of you all, obviously have varied background, varied ethnicities, or the way you were raised and experiences, and that's what's going to make this so much more amazing for you. But you have to bring in somebody from the outside to really do this. You really do. And then the other item is you want to have what I call evaluation. You need to evaluate and put in a system, a process, performance process to evaluate successes, breakthroughs, wins, challenges. Okay, and even, where you might be making errors or mistakes. Okay, and how all that's going to work through. And you're also going to have what's really essential, and that's social cohesion. See, I can give you example after example of people being on a team, and there wasn't really social cohesion. They may have won the championship. They may have achieved record earnings, record attendance at events, but still there wasn't social cohesion. And what social cohesion does is it does exactly what I just mentioned earlier. It allows those relationships to build, and they become sustainable relationships. Do you have sustainable relationships? Very first professional job, I still have relationships with people from that very first job. Can you imagine that? From my very first professional job. Now, since then, I've had other jobs where I don't have any relationship with any of those people. But most of the employers I worked for, I have a relationship with some people at those jobs. And so that's essential. And so that's the culture of a team. And that's why the meaning of a team needs to be very well understood, and the culture of a team needs to be very well understood. These are essential for you to actually experience development and breakthroughs that you most likely did not imagine doing so. And most importantly, you have more fulfillment. It'll be easier. You'll have more fun and enjoyment. And that's what makes going somewhere and doing something with people an amazing thing. It's just that. And it actually makes it so much easier on everybody when something like this, for example, my services come in and to help. So that's what I have for you today. Now, what is my zone effect? You know, the zone effect is when everything's in slow motion. It seems like it's slows down. There's performance breakthroughs or improvement, or you're setting a record. Time isn't a deterring factor, and everything feels effortless. And so I've had a few. One is that since I have started to meditate now for 1 hour, and I've been doing this consistently for 1 hour, it has to be an hour. I can't do 20 minutes and say I meditated, or 40 and say no, 1 hour. The amount of just sanity and stress reduction and clarity of thinking is just so amazing. I actually feel like I have time, and time is not a deterring factor. So I've implemented that. The other thing is I'm on vocabulary 8, level 8 of my vocabulary building. And so that's very, very important also for me in my work. And I also got a new client. So that's always a nice breakthrough. And then when I'm playing tennis, I'm doing better at holding my head still when I hit my ground strokes. And by doing that, it's just causing me to hit the ball with a lot more confidence, with a lot more power and control at the same time. It's pretty amazing. And so these are all breakthroughs that I've made. And I hope you have a zone effect. And of course, I would love to hear your zone effects. You can send me an email, you can call me, you can text me, you can chat with me, because I'd like to celebrate those with you, because sometimes you don't have anyone to really celebrate it with. Because yes, it's important to you, but you don't know really who would really, have a wow factor for you in you telling them that. I would, though, because this is what I love to do. So I also hope you have a meaningful trigger for this evening. I know I do. I voted today, so it's, just like most people, want to see what happens with these votes. So I'm going to do that, and just working on also just thinking through a little bit, and not much of my evening will be spent on this. A strategic planning session for a local organization here in Greenville, South Carolina. So I hope your weather's as nice as our weather, because our weather here is fantastic. The leaves, it seems like it's almost overnight that they changed colors. Of course, the clock went back, so we have, shorter days now. So wherever you are watching this, I hope you have a fantastic day. And please share this with people. You know, I can't do everything by myself. I need people to share this message so that people can, I can help more people and people can learn and benefit from this video. If something here resonates with you and I can help you with your specific situation individually, for your team, for your organization, your sports team, your business, you can contact me at 864-569-2315. And my email is Raj, R-A-J, at R-A-J-G-A-V as in Victor, U-R-L-A.com.